involved.
Jesus, this is...
Yeah. So, with the mic, nice and close to the mouth.
1, 2.
Yeah, and green light facing you. So if you notice that halfway through you're kind of turning it that way, do try and turn it back this way.
Just sit on the mic.
Sit, pretty much. Yeah.
Okay, hello.
It
does look like you could sit on the mic actually.
Yeah.
1, 2, 1, 2.
For people who don't have a clue what we're doing, we're also recording this for a podcast. So that might make a little bit more sense to you now. Really appreciate you doing this.
Right there.
This is fine as
Oh,
well.
he said completely differently.
You told me beforehand it has to be like
No,
this.
just around your face, general area.
Around my face. Yeah. Yeah.
Thought you two got on.
Do
This
whatever
is
the fuck you want with the
strange.
microphone then. Jesus Christ. Yeah, really appreciate you doing this. It's
Nice
a
to
pleasure
be
talk
here.
to you.
Yeah, nice to be here.
You're kind of doing a lot, from what I can see from following your Instagram.
Oh yeah, that's full of shit. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
No, it's not. No.
Well, it's a bit like ours then as well. You seem to be doing quite a lot of gigs.
Yeah.
I do know from having talked to people who know you that you drastically changed career. I don't know exactly when, but you were kind of in, let's say, the very steady job situation, and then decided to like go full comedian.
Yeah.
What brought that on?
Lunacy, I think, to be honest with you. Alcoholism, mild drug abuse, the usual. No.
The Irish life.
Yeah, you want me to be honest here, right? Honesty? No. I had a good job, and I had done different types of work, communications, marketing, customer service, loads of different jobs, and they all kind of went well, and I got promoted and got better jobs, moved to different companies, etc. But I didn't really enjoy any of them, and I was not very good at most of them, to be honest, either. So I got away with not being good at my job by being funny at work or having fun. People liked being around me, even though I wasn't very good at what I did. So I then wanted to do comedy, so I got into comedy. I was doing comedy alongside work, which became stressful because when you start doing comedy, you're driving all over the countryside and doing crap gigs in towns you don't want to be in half the time. Places like Roscommon, you know, that kind of stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, shudder, you know.
Yeah.
So it shouldn't actually. No. I have a thesis online about that very subject. You should check it out. More of a manifesto. So I found it difficult to manage both, and then it became a point where either you jump off the diving board and hope for the best and see if you can survive, or you give up and go back to just keeping your day job as your solid thing. And I decided to jump in the deep end and see what happened. So
yeah, brilliant. Fair play to you, man. It takes balls to do that.
Yeah,
so.
and I'm drowning. It's very it's fun. It's fun. Yeah, it's good.
I imagine. As you probably imagine from chatting to some people here and from chatting to us, the majority of people here tonight are new to Dublin or have been here for a while, but maybe they're not native Irish people. So we're going to try and deconstruct some complicated Irish concepts here tonight so that we can help people, that we can be of use to some people also. People wrote some questions, and I'm going to just take one question at a time, and we're going to try our best to answer them, if you're up for that.
I'm absolutely up for that, yeah.
What is the Florida of Ireland?
Jesus. What is the Florida of Ireland? Probably Roscommon. I know we mentioned it already, but probably Roscommon.
Yeah.
What's your? I was actually joking. What is your genuine beef against Roscommon?
Were they the only county to vote against marriage equality?
You could be right, actually.
Yeah. But I'm okay with that. It's more. I'm joking. That was quite strange, and it's just there's nothing there. There's nothing there. There's no animals, no people, no trees, no shelter. I don't know. I've never been there, but it sounds, from my description in my imagination, to be a terrible place.
I've got family on my father's side will be from East Mayo.
Okay.
So I'm not going to lie. There's very little difference between East Mayo and
West.
Roscommon. The West is beautiful. But yeah, I will. As much as I love my family, who are definitely not watching this, it's sometimes I go down there and it is terribly boring.
Yeah.
Just that. So I don't know if anybody's experienced this, or you obviously don't have family in Ireland, but if you go to the typical house in the west of Ireland, which including to my aunts and my uncles, and you're visiting them, they will, for some reason, actually none of them drink, but they drink tea like non-stop.
Yeah.
Like, as soon as you're finished, the cup of tea, they're like filling you up again.
Yeah.
And you're kind of like shaking by the end of the day. And they're like, what's wrong with you? And you're like, I don't know, I'm not used to drinking 10 cups of tea in a day. That is like, it's I think, and it's always like 400 degrees in the house as well. You're like drinking tea and like sweating. You're like,
sweating, drinking tea.
Again.
Yeah. And cliches. They love cliches as well in those places, like, you know.
Yeah.
Just use cliches all day for conversation.
Not going to go too much into this, but for anybody who doesn't know, you should check out the whole Mayo curse thing. I think that's a pretty fascinating.
Yeah, it is actually. Only one left as well. That'll make sense when you look it up.
There is only one left.
Only one left.
Genuinely, look it up.
The Mayo curse.
Fascinating. We're not going to go into it. I've talked about it too much on this podcast already.
Too much mayo.
Why is there a president and prime minister? We're going to translate prime minister to Taoiseach.
Actually, I have no idea why we have that.
One is the head of state, one is the head of government.
Our president is like our queen.
That makes sense to me. There's some people looking at me going, what? Don't other countries have presidents and prime ministers? France has a president and a prime minister. Russia has a dictator. But you know, but you get the point.
I'm pretty sure France is like potentially the most dangerous leader in international affairs, because he has the final, or she has the final say on things. So I'm pretty sure it's the only country where if the French president goes, I'm launching a nuke, they actually launch a nuke.
Wow.
Whereas in most other countries there's some kind of checks and balances. I could be wrong, but I think it's in the constitution that the final say goes to Nia's nodding at me, he knows what he's talking about.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Nia's in the International Atomic Agency actually. I think. He's that's the only reason he's here.
Yeah. Is this Dylan?
Hello.
Hello.
Take a seat there.
That's okay. You do have an instrument, right?
It's coming now.
Perfect.
It's upstairs.
Amazing. Thanks for coming, Dylan. Appreciate it. All right, we're going next to. Will Brian ever shave his beard?
I guess that's Nia's question.
No. I don't think so.
Never.
It's become kind of a part of a lot of my material, or the basis for some of my material that I do in stand-up comedy. So, and I love it. It started as a Movember mustache.
Wow.
And then, and it just kept going.
Novembers is it?
A few, 5, maybe 6,
no.
7, I don't know.
There we go.
But I started as a Movember and then just kept growing. And then I became attached to it, or it became attached to me. And here we are. It's a beard love story. I can't imagine shaving it off, to be honest.
Yeah, it would be a huge change.
It would be a huge shock to my children. I don't have any children, but that's how far away I envisage shaving my beard to be in the far, far future. Yeah. No, I couldn't do it. I don't think.
At what point did it go from being like incredibly itchy to...
I think that only lasts like a couple of weeks. The itchy phase. Everyone gets obsessed with the itchy phase.
Yeah.
But then it's fine. There's a few things you can't do though. But you can't eat Weetabix.
Yeah,
Can't.
true.
Might as well dip my face in cement. Can't be done. Forget it. Ice cream cones make me look like a porn star. Can't do that. Yeah. Can't run through an airport with a backpack. That's another one. Yeah. It's not easy. Is what I'm saying. It's not easy.
Chicken wings also is a no-go.
Yeah.
Okay, here's a random one for you, Brian. Are you more of a cat or a dog person? I'm going off the topic of Dublin, but that's okay.
Well, you can't have any pets in Dublin anyways.
Yeah, that's a good. That's true. Yeah,
There we
yeah.
go.
I'm a huge dog person, but I live in an apartment in Dublin, so I can't have a dog.
Nothing.
So that's very depressing.
Yeah. I wonder how many people just disobey the contract on with their accommodation and just get a pet anyway. Paola's putting her hand up as if to say that she does.
Yeah.
But I've also been in a place where I'm renting now for 3 years in the same place. Pretty sure they're going to sell it at any moment, but it's in our contract that you're not allowed to have pets, the kind of standard stuff. But I would love a dog.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'm like, okay, I'll just get one anyway and
See what happens.
what's going to happen. But
You'd have to shoot the dog. That's what would happen. I was like, I'm sorry, Benji, but I really like this apartment. Wait, it's such a tough rental market right now. I didn't think they'd actually make me shoot you. So you turn into a fucking monster. That's what would happen.
Yeah.
That's what would happen.
I wouldn't love
But it is unfair. I can't have, like, in our apartment building, even people who own the apartments can't have dogs.
Yeah.
It sucks.
Yeah, it's mad. Yeah.
It happens all the time. Like, people everywhere have it anyway.
Yeah.
Like, that's it.
They just
like,
do it.
Yeah, in my apartment complex building, whatever, there's a massive sign on the door.
Yeah.
And it's just a picture of a dog, silhouette of dog, and a big X on it. Like, massive red.
Jesus, right.
And you walk upstairs and you smell dog all the time. It's like 8 floors. And like, smells dog. And you see them walking in all the time.
On their own. With their own keys, everything. Unbelievable.
That's it.
Wow.
Probably paying more rent than the rest of us. So.
Does that smell follow you around?
Yeah.
I'll refrain from answering questions.
All right, let's go. What's the deal with provinces? Here we are doing like a history lesson here.
England. That's it. There's just, I don't know, what is the deal with provinces? Can you want to answer that? There's 4 provinces.
I don't know.
Fucking Google it. I don't know. Fucking hell.
Well, in Spain we have provinces as well.
But why
also
They're
does...
not really provinces there though, are they? They're like,
We do, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Spain.
Also,
Yeah.
Spain, England.
There you go.
I think they have provinces in France, maybe.
We're knocking these questions out of the park, to be honest. This is amazing.
Here's a question that maybe we might not be able to answer, but you might be able to answer. Well, I don't know. Your mother's Irish, so I don't know. Have you ever felt like whenever you moved to Ireland, did you feel like an expat? Did you feel like a tourist, or did you feel as soon as you came here that you were like
Part of
an Irish person, or?
Yeah, I think the first time I was here, like everyone was lost, like a bit of a tourist. Saw the spire, like didn't know what to do with that. But yeah, I think it doesn't matter where your parents are from. If you move to a country, you'll feel a bit lost for the first time. After a while, just because I look how I look, I blend in.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not too hard to get accustomed to the culture here anyway, because half of the people you meet are expats anyway, and you make friends with them faster than you make with Irish people.
Yeah.
Like we've said it before on the podcast,
Yeah.
it's so much easier to make friends with expats in Dublin than it is with foreign people. Oh, other way, yeah. That's
You know, us as Irish people are we're superficial.
Yeah.
Like we're like, hey, we're very nice. Everyone's very nice. We love you guys. Call over. No. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a weird one. And actually, Paula, that was your question that you were going to ask.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Why? Because we desperately want people to like us. It's in our DNA from the dawn of time. Please like us. Do you like Ireland? Do you like our food? Do you like our drinks? Do you like our people? Do you like our music? Please like us. We're obsessed with it. But once we know that, we don't want to know anything else. It's like, yes, we love your music. Can we? No, fucking no, you can't. I'll listen to my music myself. Thank you very much. You know. So yeah, I think because we don't have the openness and depth initially when we get to know people that other cultures seem to have. Like I noticed meeting so many wonderful people from all over the world in Dublin, how quickly you share so much information about yourselves, your lives, your beliefs, your values. Because Irish people, we grew up in very, I suppose, close-minded society in a lot of ways, especially in rural Ireland. You don't want other people to know what you think about anything, because what if you don't think the same as they think, and it's a small community, and etc. etc. So it's more about keeping the peace and making sure everybody gets on and likes everybody, and that's why we don't want to hang out with you, really. Yeah.
So, one guy that we had on the podcast before, David, he's a French dude, and he made an interesting point that I never thought of it in this way before. He said in Ireland there's a lot of communities, but just because you're part of that community doesn't mean they're your friends. So he's like big into the music community and goes to the Cobblestone place, sessions there, and I think does like kind of like the comedians like do different pubs around the city, like they also do different pubs. And he says, I go there and I talk to the same guys and we have a great chat every time, but none of them will ever go, and do you want to come for dinner in my house on Sunday? It's like that won't happen.
Yeah.
Because there's the community, and then outside of that you're no one, kind of, if that makes sense.
Yeah. But I would say as well, we don't like it. That's not exclusive to people who are not Irish. We do that to other Irish people too, you know. So it's like it's just a thing.
100%.
You just have your circle.
You have your circle, or you have your a wide, I suppose, extensive network of acquaintances. But then your home is like your little castle where you hide away with your immediate family, maybe, and
And your dog.
and your dog if you're allowed to have one, or you know, if you have to shoot it, whatever. But it's like, yeah, that's a different kind of thing. It's like layered levels of how much you want to give away of your life to other people, I guess.
Yeah, and the other thing I would say is I don't think that's exclusive to Ireland either. Like I had that experience when I lived in Spain. I think it's just when you're living in a place, you have your friends, you have your family, and then anything on top of that feels not like, I hate to say it, but it feels like an effort. And you know, after work you're probably knackered and you're like, oh, I just want to relax and not have to think about what I say, and
not have to go to this podcast tonight.
Listen, it is what it is.
Got you there anyway.
Okay. This is a good one because you're drinking a non-alcoholic beer right now. What can you do in Dublin apart from drinking, or coming to a Life in Dublin event? In other words, the other shit thing.
Oh, there's very little to do in Dublin, really. Well, there's a lot more to do in Dublin, to be fair, than there is outside of Dublin. So, like, there's a lot of meetup groups, networking groups. There's, like, things to do in Dublin on the dry, Facebook groups. There's loads of stuff that you can do, lots of outdoors activities that I've heard of that, and loads of other things that I've heard of as well. But, yeah, I gave up drink 14 days ago. 9 hours, 27 minutes. It's going great. I love it. Having a great time. Outside Dublin, though, there's a lot less to do. Like, Galway City, for example. You don't go to a pub in Galway, there's nothing to do.
Yeah. Come on in. Get stuck in. Yeah, come on in.
A few chairs in the back there.
Yeah.
I think there's very little to do in Ireland in general if you don't drink or socialise in places that sell drink.
Yeah, but what is that? And maybe, like, I don't know if anybody can kind of have a suggestion as to why that might be. Because is it the weather that is affecting that? Is it because just you don't feel like going outside, or why is it so revolved around?
Well, again, it's probably in our DNA. Like, you could, like, pubs were community centres. They were the local shop. They weren't just a pub going way back. They were sold provisions. They sold stuff for farmers. People sold animals to each other at the back of the pubs. Or it was like a centre point of every community was a pub. And I think we just got so used to that being the centre of a community that's where we like to go. We feel comfortable indoors in the dark.
Yeah.
With beer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And someone actually said to me before, it is kind of like, you know, comparing it to France or Italy or whatever, you have your plazas or your squares where a lot of people tend to go, and I think that is a pub in Ireland most of the time. But I also think it's massively changing. I think I'm pretty sure younger generations are, I don't know, it feels like they're doing things less alcohol related, a lot more open to, like, doing random stuff like
MDMA.
Exactly. But I think so. I could be wrong.
No. I agree with you. Younger generation, they're not as into drinking, and they're a lot fitter.
Much more confident about themselves. Well.
They're just
really.
They're not good people, really. No.
There's a good bit to do apart from drinking, but you do have to do your research before you do any of that, I think. Like, a lot of times you can't just go out for a walk and see what you walk into. Because everything's behind a closed door. Or, like, all the facades, the buildings, they all look like pubs, so you never know what you're going to walk into. But you have to spend a good couple of hours looking online. Like, you can do a bunch of physical activities. Like, there's a lot of climbing that happens. There's a good bit of hiking groups and all that stuff, but you do have to do your research, and you have to know someone that knows it, or you have to ask the admin to let you into the group, and that takes like 6 weeks.
Jesus, right.
But
you're right though, there's so much stuff happening around the place that I think you just, for example, since they let us do this here in the Black Sheep, I found out that they have, like, games nights here and stuff like that, and I had no idea.
Loads of comedy nights.
Since I met, like, you guys, the comedy nights, the show that we had a couple of weeks ago, we had a group on Pablo and the Foreigners, and they do music in the International. I'm not sure if this is going to continue, but on Friday nights, and the whole idea of that night is you go and meet people. It's kind of like this, but there's more music involved. But I had no clue of any of this, and especially, like, when you're younger and I was in college and stuff, that didn't even come into my mind. But there is so much stuff out there. just takes a little bit of research, and I don't know how. Maybe it's something like this where you can come and you're like, oh, what's that thing that he's talking about, and just ask questions and try and kind of find out, because there is a lot of stuff to do. It just takes research or asking people, I think is the most important thing. This is a good long one.
There we go.
Let's hope it's... Many years Irish people leave Ireland because they think it isn't a nice place to live, differently from many foreigners. What would you say to those who want to leave?
I think many young people.
Many young Irish people, excuse me.
So is that like a lot of young Irish people complain about Ireland and want to leave, but a lot of people who come in from abroad are like, this place is great, why do you hate it? Yeah. There's an element of self-fulfilling, just, negativity there too. It's like, oh God, this place is terrible. They heard somebody else say it, they say it, everybody says it, then you leave. I think the cost of living really and cost of housing is the main thing. That's the main real reason. People can't see themselves affording housing down the road, and they go, let's get out here to somewhere that's sunnier, warmer, people are nicer, more open, and you can afford to live a better life.
Yeah.
But they usually come back and they're still miserable, so it's fine.
Yeah.
Well, compared to the rest of Europe, like Spain, for example, Ireland is like, oh my God, they pay so much money there. People, so many good jobs. Like, why would I stay in Spain where I can work for Zara?
Yeah,
Or I can go to Ireland and there's so many opportunities.
No, that's true.
Go for it.
Jump on in, It's hard to know, though, if there actually is that many. I would say that I was one of those people who I emigrated, and I had, like, when I left Ireland, I didn't need to emigrate. Obviously, I wanted to, and I wanted to travel, and it was like, I was bored. Dublin is a small city, and I think if you grow up here, at some point you might also go, I'd like to experience something else. A bit like probably 60-70% of you guys are here for that reason too. Maybe some of you are here because you have to be here. That's fair enough for opportunities and stuff, but I'm sure there's a lot of you who are here just because you want to experience something else. And I think a lot of Irish people have that urge to travel and to kind of find out new places, and I think that's great, to be perfectly honest. And then those people come back and they are like, I think Dublin has changed so much in the last 20 years in terms of like food like the food that's available, the standards of all that kind of stuff, because people have gone and they've lived in other cities and they've been like, why is the food so shit here? It should be better. Or this isn't a fucking burrito. And then it has changed, and I think it's a good thing.
But I don't think it's about Ireland. I think it's just about how we hate and love in the same amount our comfort zone. I was talking shit about Madrid for like, I'm 25, so 24 years old, and now it's like how I was just complaining that much. It's just because we oblige ourselves to move when we move, like to move, like to do these things and comfort things of like coming to a place that you don't know anyone's like hi, and then you feel good with yourself because you are seeing yourself doing things that you will never do. I don't think it's out the country. I think it's out ourselves and like our capacity of we need something to push us, and that's moving the country.
I 100% agree.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to leave where they're from as well. Like, doesn't matter where you grow up, you have that feeling. It's like, I want to see more stuff.
Yeah, you don't appreciate what's in your own back garden either until you go somewhere else. You're like, oh, actually, it wasn't that bad at home, but it's nice to see this new stuff too.
Yeah.
That's it. It's a big part of it.
It's not everybody though. I have some friends and they're like not interested. Like,
that's true.
Okay. It's just I think it's different people. They feel like get out there, travel or whatever. All right, good. We'll go with a couple more of these.
There we go.
We got some good questions. Okay.
That's worrying.
This is a tricky one, and I'm going to imagine that this is a question that doesn't involve alcohol either. But the question basically is, it's fucking raining here all the time. What do you guys do when it's raining? What is there to do when it's raining?
Deal with it.
Drink. That's what there is. Yeah, it's just drink.
Yeah.
If it's sunny, beer garden. If it's wet, inside. That's it. That's just drink. Drink. I don't know. I think we're used to the rain in a way because we get it. We're so used to. Like, anybody here been to Galway? No? Don't go to Galway. That's a great city, but it is very cold and it always rains. Like, it spends all its time raining in Galway.
Constantly.
It's very miserable, but you appreciate pubs with open fires and dark rooms and dipping your head under a doorway to get into a building when it's been raining, like, and you appreciate how the streets form around a city like that, and how the pubs establish themselves, and how even restaurants lay themselves out when you have a city where it's raining all the bloody time, you know.
Yeah, I love Galway.
Yeah, it's a good town.
Yeah, it's so, like, I think because it's so small, people are kind of next level friendly also.
Yeah.
Compared to Dublin anyway. It's always a good spot to go.
Yeah, no, it is, yeah. But it does rain a lot there.
Yeah, I guess so.
Kind of get used to the rain after a while. That's it.
I hate the rain
Yeah.
so much.
Rain is like, it's a funny one. I remember, because did live in Spain for a little bit, yeah. I kind of said that story about 5,000 times now on the podcast. But coming back, and so I lived in the Canary Islands, which was, you know, amazing or whatever, like never rained. And you come back and you start to see things that you never noticed before. And going to work in the morning, if it's raining or if it's a little bit windy or whatever, and I still cycle to work, just seeing the expressions on people's faces, it's like, it's anger, but like, I'm gonna get, you know, it's like, you can't give up because you have to get to work. The face is like, it's like, in the morning, very early, it's like 7 o'clock in the morning, but the person's face is like, I got to fucking work. And I think other cultures don't get that. It's something that you don't have in like the southern European countries, or maybe if you're from Latin America or whatever.
Yeah.
That 7 o'clock anger that can only, whether maybe it's traffic or the weather obviously adds to it, but that sheer like grit. Yeah. That determination that and I think it builds a lot of character in people here, but also it's tough. It's like, it is hard.
It's hard. It's miserable. We should all emigrate.
That'll be the story of this night. Yeah.
The next podcast is brought to you from
A Life in Madrid.
A Life in Dubai.
Yeah. All right. What we got next? Craziest thing you did in Dublin?
Go to Dicey's. Every week.
Every week, yeah. Craziest thing you do weekly in Dublin.
Weekly.
Thing, not person.
Ah, okay.
Shh, craziest thing.
Craziest thing.
After you, Fiona, what's the craziest thing I've done in Dublin? Jesus, I don't know. I drink a lot, so I don't remember.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. I honestly don't know what the craziest thing I've ever done in Dublin is, because I'm gigging all the time. I gig all the time, so I'm in comedy clubs, or I'm at home, or I'm on my way to comedy clubs. I don't remember the craziest thing I've ever done. Oh no, I do. It's coming back to me. I did 12 pubs of Christmas one year. Have any of you done the 12 pubs of Christmas?
Yeah.
It's an Irish institution. It's basically where at Christmas time, you and your colleagues or your friends or whoever decides to band together, you put on Christmas jumpers, that's optional, and then you go on a route of 12 pubs, like there's the Camden Street route, there's a whole series of pub routes that you can do in the city where the pubs are quite close together, and you have a drink in 12 pubs in a row with all your, so you end up having 12 drinks, and then maybe you fall down or whatever. But this particular year I was having a great time, I was feeling really good, I'd put in the practice and the work and the effort for the 12 pubs over the preceding year, previous year. Takes training, yeah. So I was ready for it, and I ended up leaving everybody after pub 12. There was like 5 of us left from 15, and then I was like, I want another drink, and I went for another pint, and then I went for another pint, and then I was completely hammered, and I met this random couple on the street. I think it was a Chinese man and a hippie. I realize hippie is not a country, but there you go.
It really does sound like a joke.
Yeah, it does, but it's not. There's no punchline to this, right? There's no punchline to this. So they invited me back to like one of those cottages up in Dublin 8 to a party. There was no party. There was just the two of them, and I got out of there anyway. I got out of that house because it was it's becoming obvious that they were quite interested in me collectively, and I was like,
"Is this before the beard?"
This was actually early beard, I think. Early beard, and I had 2 glasses of wine there, but that was it. Then I left, and I don't remember getting home. So there's a fun story of borderline alcoholism. Yeah. It's off my chest now. Have you trained in counselling? That was the right time to ask that question.
You want to talk about it?
A lot of flashbacks coming back now. A lot of. I'm glad I did this podcast. I won't fucking sleep tonight. Thanks a million. Jesus.
Where did that, like, I can't remember when that 12 pubs, if that's been going for years and years and years, or if that at some point just started out of the blue.
It came out of nowhere. I don't know how it started, but like all of a sudden it was a thing. Everybody did this 12 pubs, and then workplaces started doing it for their Christmas parties, and then pubs started banning them because they didn't want them coming in. And
On the 11th drink.
yeah. It depends where you were on the route. Like some pubs had no problem because they were pub 2 or 3.
Yeah.
So like, come in, spend all your money. But pub 11 and 12 were like, no.
Yeah. I think they got pissed off with the kind of rules that were around it as
Yeah.
well, which was like everybody has to have their pint in the toilet. So there's like 20 people just like standing in the toilet having a drink, and then there's like one poor person trying to have a piss. They're like, don't mind us.
But you know who started that? The rules.
Who?
Not Irish people. I'll tell you that much. The rules were added to make things more fun for like non-Irish people who lived in Dublin.
Oh, no.
Because Irish, if you don't have, it doesn't take much arm twisting to say to an Irish person, "Do you want to drink 12 pints?" Sound, yeah, let's do it, yeah. Well, you say that to somebody from Spain, they're like, "And what else?" They're like, you hop on one leg in pub 4. You tell everyone a childhood trauma. I don't fucking know, right? And like that's why all that stuff got invented, to keep Europeans entertained while we drank our 12 pints, basically. Yeah.
No way, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Do you remember Arthur Guinness Day?
Yeah, that was nightmare, wasn't it? That was terrible.
Really, I really enjoyed that.
But it was like such a marketing thing. Like there's no such thing as Arthur's Day. It was just a marketing campaign.
And I was fully on board. For someone who doesn't know what I'm talking about, there used to be like an Arthur Guinness Day, like St. Patrick's Day, but celebrating Guinness. I think it was in like September the something. Ran for about 2 or 3 years. What I liked about it is like you bought a ticket, let's say to this pub, right, to the Black Sheep. You didn't know anything about it. You just like, right, I'm gonna be in. Well, it wouldn't have been this place because they don't have Guinness, but let's just take it as an example. I'm gonna be in this pub at this time, and the whole thing was like 1759, which is like the year that Guinness was started. You would say cheers to Arthur, whatever. But then there was a band or a group that would be playing in that venues, and you didn't know who it was, but it was generally someone very big. So I think at years like Ed Sheeran, Daft Punk, like big fucking groups would end up playing in like the Black Sheep, which was amazing. That's what I liked about it, was like,
yeah, no, that was cool. To be fair, that was cool. But
you'd have proper top musicians playing in the Black Sheep, which was really cool.
I did think it was just mad the way the whole country let a company invent a public holiday and make you celebrate the guy who started their company. That'd be like, you know, imagine Bill Gates Day. You know what I mean? Like, thank you, Microsoft. You know, we'd be like, what the hell is going on? Because it was Guinness, we're like, oh yeah, cool, whatever. You know, yeah.
Basically, it was stopped a few years later because nobody went to work the next day. It was on a Thursday night, and there was like massive absenteeism on Friday. But yeah, we'll take one more question, and then we might take a little break after that. And Dylan, if you want, you can play a few tunes. That would be amazing. Really appreciate you being here. Yeah, we'll go with one more.
That's it.
All right.
So neat, that handwriting.
Yeah, lovely handwriting.
That's very nice.
I like the way food is underlined as well. This is a question that I've been asked for years, and I've never really been able to answer it properly, so maybe you'll be able to help me out. You're also big into food. What is traditional Irish food?
You take everything available to you and you put it in a pot and
Leave it on the fire.
and you boil the shit out of it and then you eat it. That's traditional Irish cuisine. Yeah,
Isn't it
right there.
called
Coddle or bacon and cabbage, potatoes. We boiled everything.
Yeah.
Like literally, because there probably was no other means of cooking anything elaborate, and there wasn't.
English took the spice.
The English took everything. The English are it's their fault. I don't know. I mean, what is Irish? Like, there's bacon and cabbage. There's Irish stew, and there's coddle in Dublin because you couldn't afford Irish stew up here, and that was it, isn't it?
Basically.
Yeah.
Not much more.
So
It's so sad.
So sometimes I think people don't realize like how poor this country was
Yeah.
not that long ago. I was talking to my uncle, and my uncle is very old. He's like 80 something, right? And I was walking, this is in East Mayo, probably one of the poorest parts of Ireland back in the day. And we were chatting anyway, and I was like, I'm gonna like talk to him about like, you know, modern concepts, and I was like, what do you think about like veganism and all that kind of stuff? So anyway, we started talking about food, and he's like, oh yeah, so you know, we used to have the big pile of potatoes there in the field. I was like, what do you mean, you like pile of potatoes in the field? It's like, yeah, and we used to pray for snow. And I was like, what? Why? It's like we didn't have any refrigeration, so if it didn't snow, all the potatoes would go bad. And I was like, Jesus Christ. Have you ever had Domino's pizza or anything like that? Fucking hell. I was like, what a difference, man. Like, I'm how many, like 50 years younger than he is.
In a very short space of time. Yeah, we went from being like
praying for snow for potatoes.
Yeah.
You're back and obviously that's an extreme example, not everyone is like that, but it like, there was that intense poverty, and I think for that reason there's not much of a cuisine.
No. But we have amazing produce.
Yeah.
So if you like food, if you're a foodie, Dublin especially, the quality of the food that's used in the cuisine you like from any part of the world is arguably going to be of higher standard than the part of the world the cuisine comes from that you like. So that's kind of what we offer the world is quality produce. We're not going to offer you the greatest culinary twist in the universe. Like, just put it in a pot, boil it. That's it. That's what you get if you want our cuisine, you know.
But then again, I think, like, sorry to be harping on about it, I think that is changing, and you'll see, like, I've seen documentaries like Irish chefs that have worked in Japan for 15 years, and they come back here and they start like trying to use Irish seaweed to make some weird sushi that's never been done before, and so there's no like stereotypical Irish food, but I do think that maybe in 100 years it'll never be Irish, but it will be like
influenced
by as you say, products that are from here. So I do think that there is quite a cool and nice options of food here.
Food in general in the city is
it's good.
Doesn't matter what you order.
No, it's
or
good.
What you get or what restaurant, it's always going to be nice enough.
Yeah.
Like pretty good. Like pizza here is class.
Yeah.
Burgers here are class.
Yeah.
Italian here is awesome.
Yeah. Good
Good
quality produce, good quality food. Yeah. Just not necessarily Irish.
Yeah, exactly. I remember it being made being lasagna when I was a kid, and then I went on a school. We did an exchange with an Italian school, so I went to stay with their parents, and he went to stay with mine, and the mother over there cooked a lasagna. I fucking hated lasagna because my mum used to make she put like as little effort into chopping vegetables as possible, so it was like the pepper was like that big, slices of pepper, and you're like just like massive pieces of pepper. And then I had lasagna from this Italian mother, and I was like, fucking hell, this is amazing. And then she had these like meatballs the next day, and I was like, oh man,
I'm never going home.
Exactly. I came home, I was like, you don't even know how to make lasagna. You know, what is this? Like, so demanding 14-year-old kid.
You can imagine the kid that was here, the poor Italian kid, having to deal with your mom's
cheddar cheese on top.
Cheese on
and everything.
Speaking of therapy, actually, I think he still contacts me. And was like, it was a weird thing though. I don't know. You're Italian, right? I don't know if this was a thing, but I remember in that time they were like, "Do you want tea, coffee, or milk?" And I was like, "Okay, this is a normal question." And at the time, I didn't drink tea or coffee. I was like 13 years old, and I was like, "Oh, milk." But my mate said, "Tea, please." So she got the cornflakes and put tea with the cornflakes into a bowl, and then put milk into mine. So I was like, "Oh, what? I got lucky here." Is that a thing in Italy or no? Okay. She was definitely fucking with us.
Yeah. I love the way you can see the penny dropping with you now as well. Hang on a minute.
I was halfway through the story and I was like, oh no.
Oh no. Yeah. I'm the idiot in this story. Oh no.
Brian, thank you so much.
Pleasure.
It's been an absolute pleasure chatting
Pleasure.
to you.
Thank you.
Where can we see you? How do we go to see you? What's the best place?
Follow me on Instagram at Brian Galahad. Brian with an I, because I know that some Protestants use a Y. Brian with an I, Brian Galahad, and I post about gigs and up my story there and on the feed and everything else. So yeah, and I'm always gigging somewhere. So please do come see me at a show. But
You
follow
were
me
at
on
the
Instagram.
Lounge last weekend, right?
Yeah, there again next weekend as well.
Amazing.
So that should be good. Yeah, usually gigging 5-6 nights a week somewhere.
It's a
So
big venue, man.
yeah, it's big.
How
Yeah,
do you feel in front of like?
it's fun. The bigger the venue, the easier it is. The more, well, not the easier it is, but the more you're doing comedy, the more comfortable you are doing it, the more confident you are in your material, then it's easier to do a big room.
Okay.
Like, it's easier to gig for 400 people than it is to gig for 20. Easy,
Yeah.
hands down, way easier, because the volume of energy in the room, the collective energy, everything,
yeah.
it's set up for success. Whereas if you have 20 people spread out at a comedy gig, it's like, Christ, it's going to be hard, to get that energy up to the same level.
How many years have you actually been doing it now?
5 or 6, maybe.
That's not that much. You're doing great.
I know, yeah. I'm not actually that self-confident, but I'd love to be.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot.
Every round of applause for Brian.
Very nice. 5 minutes.
Yeah, Dylan, whenever you're ready, you can take your time. If you want to go to the toilet, grab a drink, whatever, and then we'll come back in a few minutes.
Who's your bleeding at?
Yeah,
Also, exactly.
Let's see. I'll find it as soon as I can. Thanks, Brian. All the best.
Tuesday, with my fries on it. Si es más rápido, no te
So where do you know this?
I like that one. At least that was an EP. It was on an EP, like 5 tracks. And when I roll on something that was 17, it was down. That very release on that one I like. That still sounded something like I've been thinking of writing now. The whole like took the music down, didn't write a song for a year, still like shame there, you know what I mean? I was like, oh god. So I actually released one in January, the first time for like 4 years. Actually, I was turning out writing music again for like 2 years. Nice. Start recording again. July.
I guess it's nice, like a small crowd.
Yeah. It's more intimidating. That's actually why we're talking about comedy and music. The tiny it's so light and raw, you know what I mean? It's like, you're like looking at their show and they're looking at yours, and it's like, you need to feel like you know them. It's fucking scary, but it keeps you on your toes. It's hard to know that I never know what's going on. Over these live podcasts, I feel like
we're getting like a school of hard knocks, but yeah, it's my core. Like I said, to be honest with you, the main point for me is that a lot of these people are talking
yeah, it is. Man, look, this is some brilliant content. I hadn't heard of this before you reached out to me today. Obviously, I've been through your Instagram posts. I love that idea. I love that idea that people in the room and a podcast happening. Yeah, people there.
podcast is a side show. Comedy, even music is actually a side show. It's like, when I started doing it, musicians, and I know in fact, but like it's really nice.
Most podcasts do a lot of trying to find for a special. You know what I mean? But actually, I like doing this. And when I continue this for a long time, or not, like, it might even be good for you to be seasonal. Yeah, every once you two do all the shit, maybe bring a guest or wherever you're recording a podcast, and then do another week, couple of weeks. Yes. In a way, it's like, I don't get Don't tell people. Yeah, really well. Great gaming experience. Audience was great. Look, I already know that. Like, very most games I was like,
You can stand here. I'm going to put the mics just. Alright guys, yeah, we're going to go again. If you want to take a seat, you can. All you guys hope that you can see. Amazing. I'm going to sit over here. Thank you so much, Dylan, for agreeing to play a few songs. I was actually just explaining to him and also to Brian earlier, like obviously everybody is very much buying into the concept of this project. Like at the end of the day, it's not really a podcast. The podcast is a sideshow. As I said earlier on, the whole thing is that we get to chat to people that maybe we haven't met before, etc. And musicians and comedians have been extremely generous to come here, and we're obviously we can't pay Dylan, unfortunately. Maybe one day, man.
What?
Black Sheep, they give us a room for free. Brian gave us his time for free. And that's kind of for you guys actually, so I hope that you appreciate it. And yeah, Dylan, thanks a million, man.
Thank you.
Round of applause.
I'm kind of shitting myself. You're all very close to me, so I go super red. Just ignore it. No. Falling while you stood for stepping away. I heard myself this morning as I watched my fortress decay. Well, if love is a sickness, it eats me from deep in my bones. Wish I could say fuck it, get up, leave it alone. I bought you flowers today. Wish I could throw them away. They laugh in jest at the hole in my chest. They remind me of rain. Whoa, and a cynical Cupid broke his white ones reveal more. I bought you flowers today, wish I could throw them away. They're in full bloom, but rain dark round this room. I bought you flowers today, wish I could throw them away. They just add depth to the hole in my chest. They remind me of rain, remind me of rain. I bought you flowers today, remind me of rain. Jesus. Voice is still so raw from Paddy's Day and a match day. Not even a big rugby fan, but I was just in a bar when Ireland won and I was like, fuck yeah! Why do I do these things? This next song's called I'm Not the One. I released it back in January, and it's about me not being in love with someone, and then the songwriting process was, how do I make this about myself? And this is what came out. Anyway, it's such a bad habit when I'm like performing for people, just trying to paint myself in the worst light possible. I don't know why I do it, but it's just...
It's Irish people in general, I think.
I think it is part of like Irishness, isn't it? You said you need me. Well, I hope that wasn't true. You looked up, I screaming, and cried out, I won't wait for you. Well, I hope you meant that too. Honey, I adore you. I just don't love you at all. And I could see you falling. So you should know I'm not the one. Someone wasted all my love. Speak up, I'm frozen. Your silence thunders through the room. Don't call me your soulmate. I just know that can't be true. I feel nothing holding you. Honey, I adore you. I just don't love you at all.
and I could see you falling. So you should know I'm not the one. Someone wasted all my love. 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 There's that one. Is this a bit too depressing or something? Do I need to liven up?
No, that was really upbeat.
Alright, as long as you guys are okay. Because I will keep going with the sad stuff, because I don't really have much happy stuff. I'd have to switch into someone else's songs if I was to do happy stuff. Just give me a second to tune this. Thanks to the guys for having me. This is a cool concept for a gig.
In my head, if I could play the guitar and sing, my voice would sound like yours.
That might be the highest compliment I've ever heard. Wait, you mean that in a good way or a bad way?
I mean that in a good way. Yeah. Class enough.
Dreamt of you last night. I saw what it might be like to say goodbye. You were crying, I was angry. We were dying, yeah. Thought you'd like to know. Thought you'd like to know. Thought you'd like to know, yeah. I crossed you today, look the other way, my foolish ego. I thought we might be good if we didn't say a word, but did you notice it? The noticing. Thought you'd like to know. Thought you'd like to know. Thought you'd like to know, yeah. Ooh. This is a rare song for me. It's about positive emotions. Isn't that nice, huh? Love you too, Harry. Huh? Who's talking about it? Oh, no, thank you. These are my friends, if you can't tell. They just fucking love to come heckle me. What the fuck is that? No. Maybe after. Yeah, this song's called You Through My Eyes. Anyway, here we go. I'm so fucking nervous. Everyone's so close. Why are you so close?
You're doing phenomenal, man.
You get concerned with how people observe you, so I try not to box you in. Your image is fluid, so beautifully human. To cage it would feel like sin. Well, I don't understand how you don't understand. I'd like to show you, 'cause it would blow your mind to see yourself through my eyes. Imagine for a moment this room is an ocean, and I'd be the boat and you the sail. Well, that thought's convoluted, but that's how the truth is. Don't let my words get in the way. Well, I don't understand how you don't understand. I'd like to show you, 'cause it would blow your mind to see yourself through my eyes. La da 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 da, la da 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 da, la da da da. Still I don't understand how you don't understand. I wish I could show you, 'cause it would blow your mind to see yourself through my eyes. So try not to worry, there is no hurry to get you to the other side. If ever you need it, I'll be here waiting to show you yourself through my eyes. I'll do one more actually, that's cool.
Definitely not going to object, man.
So,
for sure.
this song was shown to me by a friend of mine, Harry. Harry, do you want to sing this with me?
Yeah.
Pass him through, man.
Go on,
You
Harry.
can sing it from there. You can sing it from there. Sit tight. Sit tight. You sing it with Cap on 1. This song is really cool. I love it. Harry showed it to me. It was originally released in 1948, later covered by Leonard Cohen. It's about just kind of moving through life and just kind of, it talks a little bit about human nature, I suppose, and not taking things too seriously, I guess, which, as you can see from my job, I don't, obviously. And, yeah, Harry showed it to me, and I remember just like falling in love with it. And sometimes I play it at gigs or when I'm busking or something, and I'm like, I'm kind of stealing from Harry right now. I'll set the still. We'll make it a little.
It's weird when everyone's so close to it, you know? I think somebody said it earlier, when it's like a crowd of 40 people, like, it's strange.
This is Harry Fennell, by the way. He's a phenomenal musician, so check him out. Do you want to start?
Yeah. I saw Jesus on a cross, on a hill called Calvary. Do you hate mankind for what they done to you? He said, talk of love, not hate. Things to do, it's getting late. We've so little time and we're only passing through. Passing through, passing through. Sometimes happy, sometimes blue. I'm glad that I ran into you. Tell the people that you saw me passing through. But I saw Adam leave the garden with an apple in his hand. I said, now you're out, but how you gonna do? Plant some crops and pray for rain, maybe raise a little cane. I'm an orphan now and I'm only passing through. Passing through, passing through. Sometimes happy, sometimes blue. I'm glad that I ran into you. Tell the people as you saw me passing through. I was at Washington and Valleyford, shivering in the snow. I said, how come the men here suffer like they do? Men will suffer, men will fight, even die for what is right, even though they know they're only passing through. Passing through, passing through. Sometimes happy, sometimes blue. I'm glad that I ran into you. Tell the people that you saw me passing through. Next time. I was by Franklin Roosevelt's side on the night before he died. He said one word must come out, World War II. All the food, Yankee, Russian, wild tan. He said, well, a man is still a man. We're all on one road and only passing through. Passing through, passing through. Sometimes happy, sometimes blue. Glad that I ran into you. Tell the people if you saw me passing through. Passing through, passing through. Sometimes happy, sometimes blue. Glad that I ran into you. Tell the people that you saw me passing through.
having up here. That was really cool.
Hardcore, Harry, can't remember your second.
Fennel.
Fennel. That was fucking brilliant. Thank you so much. Really, really appreciate it. Guys, have a drink, have a chat. And yeah, Johnny. Yeah.